Arthur Smith and the Atlanta Falcons. There's a bit of a ladder to climb still in the NFC South, but with everything going to fall apart for Tampa Bay soon. I know we've said this for 2 years now, but there is a window of opportunity that if they can knock out this NFL draft, they may be at the top of this division sooner than you think. They've got the 8th overall pick in this draft, and it always comes to quarterback.
Well, I mean, moving on from Matt Ryan, you got to realize this is a team who has a $214 million salary cap. $64 million of it are to Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Dante Fowler, and Tyler Davison.
Mm-hmm.
What that tells me, you're not filling all the holes on this team. It's the reason you signed Marcus Mariota, because you're going to bring in a sacrificial lamb quarterback that's going to deal with the dog water that this season's going to be. Next offseason, you have over $100 million in cap space before the salary cap moves.
So you're going to be able to load this team with some talent in the free agency period next year, maybe through some trades. No chance next offseason is going to be as crazy as this one has been, but I have said that before. Let's get into it. The Atlanta Falcons post-free agency 7-round mock draft from the Ingles studio here in the Sportsocracy. The 8th overall pick, Malik Willis, quarterback, Liberty.
It shocks me how many people don't see this coming. Oh, but Pittsburgh's going to trade up to 7 with the Giants. No, they're not. No, they're not. Pittsburgh views themselves as a contender right now. They like Mitch Trubisky. Now, Malik Willis is a player that if he plays a snap in 2022, you did it wrong. Straight up. And I know that's hard to hear. You're not going to have the receiving core that can help him. You're not going to have the line that can help him. This is an accumulate players. Get the pieces around him. Let Marcus Mariota teach him how to be a pro and teach him how to actually run an offense, because he didn't do that at Liberty. Mm-hmm. Liberty was a one-read, take-off offense. He has no idea how to do this. When he was coming out of high school, most colleges thought he was a receiver, not a quarterback. None of that's changed. He has not developed as a quarterback. He's a crazy good athlete. He has a Michael Vick level skill set. The problem is that it's like learning a new language. He's coming in speaking English, and you're trying to teach him Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
He has no idea what you're talking about. So you're going to have to be patient. And this is a team that is differently able to do that. Because I'll be really honest with you, if this went this way, even if Marcus Mariota got hurt, I don't think he would come in.
Really?
No.
True redshirt year.
True 100%. We are not playing you year, and that's what he needs. The high side on him is great. The low side is terrifying. But if you're patient, he fits nicely in this Arthur Smith offense, playing off the boot, play actions, but you're going to have to build this roster before you can trust him, or you will get him killed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe me, go back and watch the Ole Miss tape and just realize as soon as they figured out what he was doing, it was all over but the crying. But he put up stats. Yeah, and he almost got himself killed twice. I really like this kid, and he's as nice of a kid as there has ever been in the history of time, mm-hmm. I believe. But you're going to have to be patient. This is Trey Lance last year on steroids, because he's not even as developed as Trey Lance was. Now, the high side is probably higher because he's faster.
All those intangibles, those pop plays. And, the fact that he got way more headlines.
He's faster. He's got a bigger arm. But he's also small. He's 6 foot 220, 215, somewhere in that neighborhood. But he will come into the league as probably the second fastest quarterback in this league. I mean, Lamar Jackson's the only one I can think of that I know definitively is faster than he is. And I think if you develop him the right way, a lot of good things can happen. Between the jumping competition and going into an NFL offense, which you have never come anywhere near, redshirt the kid, know you've got your quarterback of the future, know that this year's going to be bad, and stock up next year.
Yeah, going to be bad because you only have one weapon that you can name on that. Well,
him and Kyle Pitts could be unbelievable.
I forgot they brought back Cordarelle Patterson. So you got two weapons that you can name on this team right now. In the second round, they got 2 picks. First one's at 43rd overall. You got them getting Kenyon Green, who is a tackle, guard.
He's a guard for me.
He's a guard. He's a
He's
guard. Texas A&M.
Didn't have a great combine. But this is a smart kid. You know, he has some physical limitations. He ran slow. He's real big. But I'm lumping all of the Texas A&M players into the same boat. I don't think you were coached that well, and there's a lot of untapped potential. He's currently a better run blocker, and I think he would come into the league and be a top 10 to 12 run blocker in this league immediately. This is look, I understand Atlanta has put a lot of draft capital into the line.
You said a shit ton wrong, but okay.
I get that.
Right.
You still haven't gotten it right. Jalen Mayfield, how's that working out for you?
Yeah,
I tried to tell you,
not
but
too good.
Nobody wanted to listen.
I was a fan.
Yeah, nobody wanted to listen to me on Jalen Mayfield. I don't get what you're seeing. And last year there were 4 guards in this league that were worse than him.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yikes. All right, so you can use a second-round pick this year to screw up your third-round pick from last year.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not going to tell you that he can't become something. He's a long way away from it. Kenyon Green is ready to – he's a plug-and-play right now. He's just going to be a guard.
Mm-hmm.
The reason people have soured on him is because there were people who thought he could play tackle, and he proved last year he can't.
Second pick in the second round for the Atlanta Falcons, Tariq Woolley, number 58 overall, cornerback out of UT San Antonio.
This might be the biggest freak in this draft class.
Biggest freak.
This might be the biggest freak of nature in this draft class. He's 6'4", 205, ran a 4.26. He is an insane football player. I swear to you, he looks like a receiver at times playing the ball. There are 2 knocks on him that make me nervous. One, he has shockingly bad hands. I mean, for a corner, that's rare that I would say that. He has shockingly bad hands.
Yeah.
The other thing that makes me nervous is that for a quarterback his size, he's not as good in press, but he's super raw. He only played 2 years a corner. He was a receiver before that. I think there's a lot of untapped potential here. This is another year-away player. You're going to sense a theme here with everything I do with Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
They're all a year away. Yeah, they'll play this year, other than Malik Willis. That's fine. Get the reps in. That's what I need, reps.
So high-ceiling prospects that aren't going to be great right away.
And it's not going to be pretty to start with.
Right, but we can grow together as a team.
But the good thing is having Casey Hayward and A.J. Terrell, it doesn't necessarily have to be pretty to start with. I think he would start on the outside immediately, and you're just going to take your lumps.
In the third round, first of 2 picks in the third round for Atlanta, 74th overall, Kingsley Igbari, the edge rusher from South Carolina, who preseason this year, I believe, was being projected in the first round. What happened?
He just plays out of control a lot. He's one of the best pass rushers in this draft. That's about all he currently does. He's not god-awful against the run, but you're going to have to teach him how to do it. 6'4", 260. I think the other problem is he ran really slow. 4.87 at 260 pounds is really slow for an edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't as much care about that because I think you're going to bulk this kid up a little bit, strengthen him up. I'd like to see him play about 275 and be a legitimate old-school pass rush DN that can power to speed. And he has the moves now. He just plays very reckless and out of control, and he'll run himself out of plays quite frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got to take into account he's playing at South Carolina in the SEC. So there was a talent deficiency every time he took the field, and he was probably trying to do too much. It's another player. I want to see him get reps in year 1 with the intention of him being a big jump in year 2.
And you like the fact that Dean Pease can use this guy and mold him.
Yeah, I like Dean Pease having his hands on young, out-of-control defensive players
Exactly.
because he's got a pretty good history of making a lot out of them.
Mm-hmm. At an 82nd overall pick in the third round, Kellen Diesch, offensive tackle from Arizona State.
There's a lot of finished product here. I'm stunned that this kid is not being talked about more. And the number one reason, he's really light. Really, really light. He's 6'7", and I think he struggles to stay above 290. That being said, there's a lot to like with this kid. You're going to have to watch his weight because if he stays at 290, he will get bullied in the NFL. Now, he's strong, but the mixture of being light and tall is almost a death sentence for offensive tackles, and that's where I project him. He is a tackle to me, not no moving him around. He has tackle size. You're just kind of bulk him up.
So at 6'7", you want him to be 315. Okay.
He's got a great movement, great feet, all of the things. The problem is that he absolutely gets tortured by short, squatty, powerful ends, and that's only going to get worse in the NFL. I don't think he would have to play right away. I do think he's the ultimate Jake Matthews replacement down the line. I think he can play left tackle in the NFL. There's just not that many players in this draft that can do that. There are a handful at the top in Evan Neal, Cross, Trevor Penning, and then it falls off a cliff. And it's all guys that either slide in on the right side or they can play on the interior. This is one of the few that you can get in the second day that projects as a left tackle.
In the fourth round, the Atlanta Falcons have the 114th pick. Brian Cook, safety from Cincinnati.
It has been a long time since the Atlanta Falcons have had a safety that I really liked. This is one I really like. He plays pissed off, and he's really smart. Usually players that you say that about, they play with a swagger, and they're always head hunting and shit like that. They usually don't play very smart. Brian Cook does. The problem with him is he has some physical limitations because I don't know that he's fast enough to be anything beyond an in-the-box safety. Now, that's what he would do in Atlanta. I think he could – this is a player that I think can come in and play right away. He's not a ball hawk, doesn't go for the interception. He wants to hit the receiver. He wants to hurt you. And for me, I like that. This is a leader many years down the road. The physical limitations are what keep him – if he was 0.2 of a second faster, he'd be a first-round pick. He's not, and he's not.
Fifth round, 151st overall pick, Dejean Dixon, wide receiver from Nicholls State.
This is one of the most disappointing 40s I saw at the Combine. 6'4", 200 pounds, ran a 4.62. I thought he was going to be in the 4.4 range. Very good deep ball receiver, very savvy runner. He's not the burner that I thought he was. And what that comes from is he played at Nicholls State.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't seeing high-level competition.
Yeah, he looked faster against that level of competition.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Now, that being said, I think he is a savvy enough route runner now to be a contributor immediately. I just don't know that he's ever going to be more than a decent 2. But he pairs nicely with Kyle Pitts because think of the way – and this is – I'm sure a lot of Falcons fans will go, why did we not draft a receiver before that?
Right.
Well, you remember that thing I said about a year from now?
Right, because right now Dejean Dixon would come in and be the 2 next to Olamide Zaccheaus.
No, Frank Darby would be the 2.
Okay.
Frank Darby, and they like Frank Darby, and they should. I liked Frank Darby a year ago. He's the deep threat. That's actually why I went this route, because I think they pair nicely together.
Okay.
You're going to have a shit ton of money next year, and their free agent receiver core next year is damn ridiculous. So if you're wondering why I'm not throwing receivers at Atlanta, because I don't think you have to. You're going to suck this year. That's just the way it is. When a quarter of your salary cap is tied up in players that are playing elsewhere, and it's actually more than that, you're in trouble.
Yeah. But
just take the lump and move on.
But as Flostradamus likes to tell us, if you're going to be bad,
be bad.
Be real damn bad. At the 6th round, 2 picks for the Falcons, 190 overall. Oh, staying at home. Zamir White, the running back out of Georgia.
This is almost all because of the injuries. He's had just an unbelievably bad history of injuries.
2 major knees.
Yeah, and it's both knees.
Mm-hmm.
He is a hell of a downhill runner, and I think he's a compliment to Cordarelle Patterson. To me, he's the immediate between the tackles. He's not the starter because Cordarelle Patterson's a starter.
Right. But he's everything that you wanted Mike Davis to be last year.
Yeah, he's the thumper back, the spell back that can run between the guards on first down. And he's a great runner. Couldn't play dead in a Western as a blocker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's Chuba Hubbard bad as a blocker. But I don't need him to do that. I need him to be a safety blanket for Marcus Mariota to keep when invariably you're getting blown out next year. This is a guy that I can throw 10, 12 carries a game, and I think he will be – I think he's a really good running back. A lot of people put him too high because there is no shot in hell that you're going to see a running back with this checkered of a history injury-wise go before the fourth round. There's just no shot.
Yeah, no, I don't see that.
There's no shot of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Marcus Lattimore effect. We have seen this. Don't do this.
Right.
It's a bad idea. And now, granted, he was coming off a current injury. Zamir White is not.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no reoccurrence. I get that. Running backs are very dispensable in the NFL. Now, he's a high-end running back. If there's no injury history, I would say he's probably the fourth best running back in this class. I would have had him behind Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. I'm forgetting one. And James Cook. I like James Cook. His backfield made at Georgia better than I like him.
I do too. Always have. But I do love Zeus's power. I mean, he's just and he's a great kid. He's a great kid who struggled through a lot.
And he's a thumper that's really fast.
And I would love to see him be something at the next level. 214 overall compensatory pick in the 6th round is the final one for the Falcons in the 2022 NFL Draft. Josh Ross. Josh Ross, linebacker out of Michigan.
This is a read and react linebacker. I wish he was more athletic. If he was if his 40 was 0.2 of a second faster, I think he would have gone 2 rounds ahead of this because his instincts are very, very good. But he again has physical limitations. Plays a little too upright at times. And that's because he's a little tall for a linebacker. He's 6'2", but he's really I think he's closer to 6'3". At the very least, he plays that way. Ran a 4.8 at the combine. I think he's a special teams contributor immediately, and I think he'll be a damn good one. It strikes me as the special teams ace that may one day have a role in the defense. But he can contribute right now, and you just can't teach instincts like this. He runs himself out of place sometimes, but I think that comes from the fact he knows there is a physical limitation, and so he has to use the instincts, and sometimes those betray you.
The Atlanta Falcons, like I say, building for the future. Not looking to win this year, but looking to build a new dynasty in the NFC South because that window is going to open up very, very soon.
If you like these picks, if you don't like these picks, if you think I'm a big man bun, mulleted ginger dipshit and you could do better, feel free to throw yours and any questions in the comments. If there's a player you'd like to know how they fit with the Falcons, I go through every day and answer these questions. I love talking to fans, and I'll be honest with you, I've been dumbfounded by how high level the common fans draft IQ is. A lot of these mock drafts have been really good. When I started doing this, mock drafts it was like people were throwing darts at a board. Now it's really informed, and I didn't expect that, but I'm really enjoying it.
Atlanta Falcons post-free agency 7-round mock draft here in the Sportsocracy. Hit that subscribe button so you get all of our team-by-team content throughout the Draftmas season. Also join us every weekday live at 3 o'clock right here in the Ingalls studio here on YouTube. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we'll see you next time.